I don't think they kept their promises before Brexit. They promised things to all men. It's a huge betrayal. British public are being blindfolded on post-Brexit trade deal. Boris announced a historic free trade deal with Australia, which Boris said will eliminate tariffs on all UK goods. But farmers think the deal is opening the floodgates for more similar deals, which they say will be bad for them as well as for consumers. Worst food standards. Liz Webster, who lives on a farm in Wiltshire with her husband, said most Brits don't want to lower food standards, but that the government is keeping everyone in the dark while signing trade deals. Webster, who set up the Save British Farming campaign group last year, told TLE between 9 and 10 people are adamant they don't want to lower standards. With the risk we have seen from coronavirus, it's even more important to prevent more disease. She said Australia is one of the countries the government is signing trade deals with, but which have the worst standards. Animals are injected with antibiotics because they are kept in filthy environments, which lead to antibiotic resistance in humans, according to her. If they, people, get an infection in a few years, it could get them killed. Good food for the rich. Webster says the government wants to deliver a green Britain whilst importing nasty food from countries far away from Britain, which defames the farming industry and British farmers' values, according to her. She said they are trying to blindfold the British public by using this environmentalism, and then they are importing food which has been produced under very low standards and is not environmentally friendly. There will be some good farming, but it will only be the rich who will be able to afford it. We will have to eat bad food. I don't think they kept their promises before Brexit. They promised things to all men. It's a huge betrayal. Andrew Brown, who farms grains in Rutland, East Midlands, labeled the Australia trade deal a disaster. And he thinks all the countries the government is discussing trade deals with are massive agricultural exporters. To have a free trade deal with them will completely undermine our farmers because the costs are much lower, he told TLE. Brown thinks the only way in which UK farmers will be able to compete is by starting to mass produce, which could compromise current food standards as well as the government's environmental plans. He has just completed a big agricultural scheme and has applied to another one, which involves taking 50% of his agriculture out. In the next 5 to 10 years, there will be 50,000 farms less, he estimates. The middle 50%, the traditional family farms, will go. And although he has been farming for 30 years, he fears he may have to pack up. Steve Elnor, who farms beef, cattle, and sheep in Lincolnshire, said UK farmers will not be able to compete because they have higher standards than Australia's, which means higher costs. This trade agreement solely benefits Australia, he told TLE. Cheaper food comes at the cost of UK agriculture. You granted Australia this. We want the same, other nations will argue. They'll all want a piece of the UK. They claim they won't compromise on standards, but I believe they'll wriggle that a little. They'll say people will receive cheaper food, but you can't do that without reducing food standards, he said. They have something to do post-Brexit because they have to claim, hey, look what we have accomplished. This is not a trade agreement formed of commerce. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below the video.